Hello, my friends. I hope you are doing well. Have you ever think about how you can empower your RAG system with a persistent multimodal AI memory engine with different kinds of file documents? Just imagine you have a system. In this system, you have an ingest text. It can be PDF, image, audio, and video. It means that you are not limited to just working with text. And in this system, maybe you have some tabs related to unified vector database, ask question. You can actually even empower your RAG system with directly ingest different document types and directly actually push it in the vector database like Supabase. So what I want to show you today is a super RAG. The super RAG is my new application that can help any industry, any organization. It doesn't matter you work with different industries, products, or maybe medical image, medical text, or maybe some products in supply chain, some trends, some flowchart. It doesn't matter really. And maybe you are working just with audio files or video files. So Super RAG is here to help you to solve a really big problem we had previously with simple RAGs, and that is work with different document type. Previously, definitely we needed to convert image to text, audio to text, video to text, and finally our RAG system just worked with text. But Gemini Embedding 2 model really is a revolution in RAG system, and it changed everything about RAG. Now with Gemini Embedding 2, we can actually have any document type as input. That is awesome. So in this case, we just focus on actually ingest inputs, and we can actually directly push our chunks to a unified vector database like Supabase. Definitely you can use other database, but I personally prefer to use Supabase. So the whole idea is we can actually add files, and so imagine you have a bucket. This bucket can be in your personal computer as a local file. It can be in the cloud, Amazon Web Service, Google Cloud, or other Azure, doesn't matter. And after that, you like when you actually added a new file to this bucket, directly it will be smart enough to add this new file to your vector database, embed that with Gemini Embedding 2 model, store it in your Supabase vector store, and then when you ask a question, it can provide a valid answer with evidence. And what is evidence here? That is the source it can show you. For example, if your question is about the content of image, the reference and evidence here is the image. So it can help you to understand if the answer is correct or not, and you can actually use it as a unit for validation the answer. So for this application, I used Gemini Embedding 2, Supabase pgvector. For backend and frontend, I use FastAPI and Next.js. And the whole process is local. So that is interesting. So let's first work with this application. This is my Super RAG application that is locally on my local address in my computer. So in the setting part, you can see this is a backend plus Supabase, and even we can check the connection health system. That is interesting. And you can see some configuration reference like Gemini embedding model. Gemini chat model is Gemini 2.5 Flash, so we use Gemini API here. Different configuration can be changed in .env file, and our media directories are actually ./media. So again, definitely it can be a cloud bucket. so it's not complex to connect a bucket to that. But in this case, I want to actually show you how you can actually work 100% locally on your personal computer. So we have a dashboard here, this beautiful user interface. You can see we have 6 total files, and even you can understand, okay, here we have 2 PDF, 1 audio, 1 video, and 2 image. And if I check here in my media folder, you can see here we have the audio file, video, and 2 PDF. There is an exciting ingestion section that you can actually add your new file, and immediately actually it will be added to your vector store. And we have a library that again can show all materials that are available in your actually a media folder or any folder as your data source. And there's a chat user interface. You can ask some question. So for the first question, let's work with the text, and this is one of my paper, and I can ask a question about a concept in this paper. So maybe about GRPO, yeah, maybe about GRPO concept. Let's ask what is GRPO. So if I check here GRPO, so we have a GRPO concept in this paper, and in different part of this paper we explain what is GRPO. So let's ask and see what happened. What is GRPO concept? And immediately to start to search in different files. So you can see here its answer correctly. GRPO is a method to eliminate the needs for separate value function approximation. That's 100% correct. And even it mentioned that it's in the source file, page 5. And even it mentioned that that is from published version IGIM. And we can actually search and find GRPO eliminates the outcomes and other stuff. So it's a part of HNSW concept. So that's interesting. It is really interesting. Let's ask more complex question. For example, here we have an image about adoption curve blockchain. Let's ask what is, for example, early adopters percentage in 2017. So in adoption curve blockchain, in adoption curve blockchain, what is percent of in 2017? I see that the word was early adopters. Yes. So early adopters. Let's see it can actually understand this is from the image or not. So I try to actually search in my media folder as a data source folder and try to find the most closest actually source related to this question. Okay, so here you can see the percent is 13.5%, and I guess that this is correct, exactly, interesting, and even you can actually click and see the main image. So that is really great. You can see even you can actually click and open the source. Very interesting. Let's ask more complex question. We have an audio file here, and if I just open this audio file, it's about a speech.
In this race for space, those who came before us made certain that this country rode the first waves.
So it's about a speech of a president's speech. So I just gave the whole of this text about this speech to ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT if it's possible, please provide a question about this text, and this one, the question. So let's back to the to my super rag, and here ask a question. So this question directly come from the audio file. And just let's what is the answer? You can see the answer is we choose to go to the moon, and we'll see if the answer is correct or not. And you can see here it actually recognized this come from the audio file, and exactly it actually mentioned that man on the moon, and the speech say about we choose to go to the moon. Definitely interesting. And even you can actually click and you can see we have access to the audio file.
President Pitzer? For space science,
very, very interesting. Let's make it again more complex. And we have a video file here that's about one
Hello,
of my
friends.
video
I
about
hope you are doing well.
teaching Python.
Previously, we talked about the data structure and items, etc. And again,
It's about dictionary, list, Python.
Does not exist inside of our dictionary.
So okay, ask a question about dictionary, for example. What is the data structure of dictionary?
Our dictionary again. So
just ask a question. What is or is dictionary data structure? For example, we can ask, is mutable or not mutable? Is dictionary data structure mutable or immutable? Easy question. If we want to just understand if it can actually reach to our video. So you can see dictionary data structure is immutable, and to actually understand that's about our video. And when you actually click on this part, we have access to our video as well, video chunk as well, and our description about this video. Very interesting. Let's add another new file, and we will see if we can work with a new file. So here I have this beautiful banner. Let's add it and ask a question about this banner, okay? So all I need is just add this banner here, drop it, and you can see the log is active, uploading banner 1 PNG to my data source, to my media folder. And you can see this beautiful icon here for Super Rag, and banner 1 ingested successfully. So when we actually check the dashboard here again, you can see we have 7 total files. So I have another image. So now we have 3 images. We can check it again in the library part. You can see I have another image that is banner 1. Let's ask a question about that. So I want to ask about, for example, Super Rag, how it works. Okay. 5 steps of how Super Rag work. 5 steps of how Super Rag works. So this was not an information we had in our actually data source before. You can see immediately it can understand it's from the Super Rag banner, and answer is absolutely correct. I love it. I hope you all love it too. So it's very interesting application, and even you can actually collapse that and have a full page. The UI is interesting in this case. So that's all about this application, but just talk a little bit about the Gemini Embedding 2. Personally, I love that. Definitely, it's a revolution in the RAG area. And if you check this address, you can actually get more information about Gemini Embedding 2. The most important things about Gemini Embedding 2 is it's a unimodal input and multimodal input actually. It means it doesn't matter your input is text, image, video, audio, or documents. It can actually use a unified embedding model. And here we have a unified embedding space that is really interesting and that actually make everything easy compared to previous applications. And state of the art in terms of performance, that you can actually see that in terms of performance, Gemini Embedding 2 is really more better than compared to previous models we use in different applications. So that's really great and can be really practical in different cases. Another thing I like to talk about that is about Supabase. Again, I personally prefer to use Supabase as a vector store, that it doesn't matter you want to work with how complex data set is. That's a really great vector store that you can use Supabase, and the configuration is really easy and user friendly and even beginner friendly, that you can use that, and even you have access to some free trial. So I guess that is really interesting, and you can actually make some connection with GitHub and other stuff. So this is my suggestion, and definitely you can use other vector store like Pinecone. That is great as well. So again, this is the application actually I've made based on this idea that we can actually use different kinds of sources. Actually, we can combine different sources. We don't need actually here to actually separately convert any kinds of data type to text. So this is smart enough to understand that we need this unimodal Gemini Embedding 2, and we can actually work with that. And just imagine, for example, in the HR, in every organization, they have thousands of files. It doesn't matter, maybe some of the files are documents, some of the files are some videos for employees that are hired recently. So just imagine how these kinds of model can provide a revolution in industry, in organizations, and how it can actually make easy the process. It doesn't matter in the industry, medical, in production. So even in the education, that can be actually really great to integrate different sources and share it as a RAG application with users. So even I put this application in my GitHub. That's private now. I'm working still on that, but I will make it public when it's complete. But there are some information about that, what stack I have used, and two of the actually MCP servers. I really like that. One of them is GitHub MCP. That's make everything easy for a push to GitHub. Another one is Context 7. I really suggest you to use Context 7 MCP when you want to actually read different documentations. For example, about Gemini Embedding 2, I didn't do anything, just I used the Context 7 MCP to make life easy. And Context 7 actually just try to read every new up-to-date documentation about Gemini Embedding 2. And then I have this beautiful application. So that's all about this session. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you use the Gemini Embedding 2. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.